So my name is Lilian Kahiro, and this is my home, Gilgil. This is Gilgil, and Gilgil is in the middle of of, of a very dry place, and it's a very small town. And I was born here in Gilgil, so I have seen this town from when I was born. Growing up, I have seen it, and I love my town so much. So where we are here is women's group that we started in 2009 after there was a post-election violence in Kenya in 2007 after elections, and so many women came to Gilgil. Gilgil was safe by then because Gilgil is surrounded by 5 army camps. So it was very safe. There was no violence. So people came from all over and came and settled here. And I cannot say they settled. I can say they came because there was peace. So some of them were sleeping on the streets, and children were all over Gilgil with nothing to eat, with nowhere to sleep. And I happened to see so many people in Gilgil, and I was touched by them, but I had nothing to do. So because I was not in a position to help them by then. So it happened by good luck that ITC, International Trade Center, through Ethical Fashion, an organization in Nairobi now called Artisan Fashion, um, they were working with the United Nations. And fortunately, there was a friend of ours who knew a friend who was working with the United Nations in that organization called Ethical Fashion by then, but now they are called Artisan Fashion. So she introduced us to them, and they were doing some bags by then, the United Nations bags, and we didn't know how to do them. So when we spoke, she asked me whether we could do those bags, and we were able to gather together some women that I knew. We came together under a tree, and there was a condemned building around there, under that tree, where that tree was, and the owner of that compound gave us the condemned building to start there. So I spoke to the women because that bag was supposed to be stitched. It was supposed to be attached some crocheted flowers, and we didn't know how to do that. So we got trained by them. They offered to train us for free. That bag also was supposed to be screen printed. We didn't understand what screen printing was. So they had to teach us and show us how to mix these colors, how to do it well, because it was for the United Nations. So they taught us for about 2 months, and the screen printing and the doing the crochet. But now we had to get machines also for the stitching. So what I did, I called the women and asked them if they had their own machines at home. Some of them had the manual ones that you use with your foot. Others had to borrow from their friends. Others had to hire from their friends. So we had so many women who had come together. Those who did have the machines, they were doing the crochet of the flowers, and the others were doing the screen printing. But of course, we had people who were with us from the Ethical Fashion organization who could control the quality of work that we were doing. So we were being paid on piece rate for every good product that we did. So through that, we were able to do 36,000 bags in 3 months. We did that, and they were so excited with us. So through that, we were able to call in women who were suffering here in this town. We were able to get them together. They came to us, and we gave them work through Ethical Fashion, which we got paid after maybe a week, after 2 weeks, and this helped the women to get food for their children. So that is how we started. And I want to say that Ethical Fashion really supported this group. We started getting orders from them. And these orders that we got, most of the orders were coming from Vivian Westwood through them. We were doing some clutch bags for Vivian Westwood. we were not doing the complete bag, but we were doing the beading part of the craft bag, and then the other part was being done by the ethical fashion because they had a workshop in Nairobi. So the women were supported that way. They came, and we were about 100 in that condemned building, doing all sorts of things, excited, happy. And the good thing with that, whatever that made me really happy with that, is because these women could share their their whatever they had gone through in the violence in their towns, because they shared. Some of them had lost their husbands, some of them had lost their properties, others had lost their children. So they shared with us, and we really encouraged them and told them that this is a new beginning, and they had to really work with their hands and start earning something for their family. So we really got together with the women, shared with them, and that really helped them so much mentally, and it really moved them to another level. So since then, we have been working with ethical fashion, giving us orders from all over the world, right? So we did that for Mimco. We have done for Karen Walker. We have done orders for Stella McCartney. What I can say now is that where we are now, we are in a place where we can do anything. Anything that is designed anywhere, we can do. And we are always ready to try. It doesn't matter how hard it would be. We have that attitude. We have that attitude of trying. We have we have um, that passion of always trying to try new things. So sometimes we get orders that we don't understand, but we are always ready to try and get it right. That is why we have come this far. So I want to say that last year we were able to stand on our own, such that now we can get orders directly from the clients. They can order from us because we trust ourselves. And that does not mean that we are not working for ethical fashion anymore. They are still getting orders from these clients. And we are also getting into the shops in the malls here in our country to try and sell our products there. We also design our few small products, key holders, bags, all these things with our traditional skills that we have learned from our parents, and also joined together with the Western designs that we have seen. So we are trying also to design our own things and sell, and we have been doing that. So we are happy. This is Ushindi. We called ourselves Ushindi Women's Group. Ushindi in Swahili means victory, because we believe now we are victorious, and we will be victorious. Okay, for women who might find themselves in conflicts. It might be a family conflict. It might be like the one that happened in Kenya during those days when these women joined us. I would advise these women that they should be encouraged to start from afresh, because so long as you are alive, you're not dead. You have an opportunity to do something. You have an opportunity to move forward. Doesn't mean that because you had this much thoughts or plans and now they have broken down, that you cannot move forward. Whatever that I was telling the women who joined us from the post-election violence, who came into Gilgil, I was telling them, yes, your husbands have died, you have lost property, you have lost the harvests that you had done in your towns, you have nothing. But that doesn't mean that you cannot start again. So I can encourage those who might find themselves in conflicts or in hardships at this time to trust in themselves. Because in Kenya, we have so much that we can do with our hands. At the end of the day, you have food on the table. So I would advise them not to despair. Desperation is so bad, hopelessness is so bad. I would advise them to have hope and be strong for their families and do something with their hands, which will eventually pay at the end. I will describe a Kenyan woman as a very strong woman, a woman who stands out for her family, a woman who believes in herself. Because the reason why I'm saying this, because I was brought up in the village when I was young, and I could see how strong my mother was. My father had left us, he had gone, and my mother was there at home with the children. And she was a very strong woman. She used to go to farm, at our farm. She used to get firewood. She used to farm to other people's farms and come back with food. She was a strong woman, and I copied her. Everywhere else around us were women who were strong, who are working hard for their families. And I have seen that even when I have come into the urban centers. I have seen strong women who wake up very early in the morning, go out and come back with food. And even if they don't come back with food, they have this hope of getting that food tomorrow. So it doesn't mean because they didn't get that food today, they won't be persistent to go back again tomorrow and get that food. So I can describe a Kenyan woman as a persistent woman who will work hard for her family and stand for her family without complaining.